بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. The most powerful aspect in the life of a human being is at the same time the most destructive aspect in the human being. It is hope. Hope, subhanAllah, drive a person to be active, to achieve, to fulfill their goals. But the hope will be the most important thing you need for your life to attain your real goals that will help you to fulfill the purpose of your life. But in the same time, this hope, when it drives you to another path, is going to destroy you. ذرهم يأكلوا ويتمتعوا ويلههم الأمل. Let them eat, entertain, enjoy themselves, and being قال يلههم الأمل, distracted by hopes, false hopes. And subhanallah, all of us, we are in the, as being, it's our nature as human beings. You know, since childhood, they teach them how they need to be successful in school, how they be bright. Then they have to finish the school, and then they have to have a diploma. Hope to get this, hope to have a great job, hope, and then till death comes. فَقَالَ يُلْهِهُمُ الْأَمَلِ. SubhanAllah, to be distracted by hope and not be aware of your journey of your life, that's the most destructive thing into the life of a human being. Because the ultimate truth, as all of you know and you believe, is in the Quran. You know. When someone is distracted by hope and always he's going to do this, always going to do this. The Prophet ﷺ, when he described, by drawing on the sand, let's say the parable of the life of a human being, like he make like a square, and then he make like a lot of lines starting from inside the square and going outside the square, or like a rectangle outside the square. And he said, this square or this rectangle is the life of a human being. And all these lines, that these hopes, aspiration, but you're not going to get anything of that because it's beyond the term of their life. That's why the believer, their hope, they need to be an eternal hope. An eternal hope, which means like invested, that ability that you have, beautiful ability, that give you like, subhanAllah, that tranquility, that give you the way to breathe, when in time of difficulty, that hope. But when you invest it, you have to invest it in things that are going to help you go through the eternity, through the, subhanAllah, the let's say, the line of the term of the death. Because when people are distracted, they don't think, what's going to happen? They're going to die. Yeah? They're going to die. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us in the Quran things like, as we have read yesterday in Surah Ibrahim. Can you imagine you're going to be alone by yourself on a day, on a land that is white, going as the Prophet ﷺ قال نقية عافرة أرض, is like has whiteness, it has some redness in it. Nothing happened before in it. And you're gonna be alone by yourself. The problem is, the big problem, if you see your mother from a distance, you're gonna run away. If you see your father, you don't want him to recognize you, you're gonna turn. يُبَصَّرُونَهُمْ they see him, and they avoid them. This is the real, the closest to you, the people that you love the most. يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ. سبحان الله. من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وفصيلته Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell everyone you're going to be running away in different ayahs. Subhanallah. Why? Because you have something that you need to deal with. Is you, is yourself. You might be in hellfire. You might be doomed. يَوْمَ تُعْرَضُونَ لَا تَخْفَى عَنْكُمْ خَافِيَةٌ. When you come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you cannot hide anything. لَا تَخْفَى مِنْكُمْ is like anything. Everything is going to be open. Everything is going to be seen. So imagine in this land, وَبَرَزُوا لِلَّهِ جَمِيعًا. Everyone is like apparent. Nobody can hide. There is no like mountains, there's no things that you can hide. It's a flat. It's something that, subhanAllah, you cannot hide. And you're going to be there. وَحَشَرْنَاهُمْ فَلَمْ نُغَادِرْ مِنْهُمْ أَحَدًا. We all gathered them and we didn't miss anyone. This is very powerful ayah. Every time you read it on Friday in Surah Al-Kahf, every time you read it, you're going to remind yourself that you're going to be there, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and we didn't miss anyone. Then you're not going to be missed. Because usually when you read something, when you talk, you read the news or things, something bad happened to other people, it's always to other people, not to you. You are safe. You are at home safe. No, when you read this, you're not going to be missed. You're going to be there in the land of the resurrection. You're going to be in the Al-Ardul Bariza. You're going to be running right and wrong and trying to find help. Who are you going to find help from? Who? Huh? That's why, subhanAllah, this amal, when the death will start, and we have, 2 days ago, a daughter of our brother who passed away, 26 years old. And we have many of our young ones who passed away. So when death will come to you, are you ready? Are you ready to have your answer to Munkar wa Nakir? Now, imagine if you are in the grave by yourself, and Munkar wa Nakir, they come to you to ask you the question. They're going to tell you a very simple question. Who is your Lord? What is your deen? And what is your messenger? Everybody will know it. Now with the media, even the person outside in the street is going to tell them who is the God of the Muslim, is going to tell you Allah, They know. But the problem, you know it, and you grew up with it, you pray every day, but imagine you be in a situation dark, so scary, horrified. Do you think that you can even say, utter your tongue or move your tongue? When someone is like trembling, so scared, and Munkar wa Nakir, the face that is like scary. I mean, without getting into a lot of details. We just wanted to be a good reminder for us. I mean, their voice look like a thunder. How can you talk? How can you talk? Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most merciful, He will make your tongue to move. Why? Because your heart was pure. It's not your brain is going to think, say, oh, this is my Lord, yeah, Allah. No, this is going to be blocked. It's not going to be because fear will cripple the mind. Only the heart. If you have purified your heart, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to provide you the firm speech. يُثَبِّتُ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِالْقَوْلِ الثَّابِتِ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ. Allah will give you the first speech, so you'll answer. You'll answer. You'll be able to answer. And this is, subhanAllah, the first stage in our life. You know how many lives we have, right? This life, the life that we are in before, we don't know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He told us, you are a soul, and this soul, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed for an angel to bring it and to have the angel blow this soul into you, a flesh in the womb of your mother. That's start the second life. Then you're going to live this life. After this life, you have 3 lives. 3 lives. In the grave. In the day of judgment, which is longer than the life that you live in this life. Longer. Unless, inshaAllah, will be accepted as believer and embraced in the rahmah of Allah, then the whole day of judgment for you will look like the Prophet ﷺ, the time between Dhuhr and Asr. Inshallah, Ya Rab. That's the second. And the third life is for which you have been created in the eternity. فَرِيقٌ فِي الْجَنَّةِ وَفَرِيقٌ فِي السَّعِيرِ. قال وكذلك أوحينا إليك قرآنا عربيا لتنذر أم القرى ومن حولها وتنذر قال ومن حولها فريق في الجنة وفريق في السعير. When Fatima, the wife of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, she entered and he found Umar crying. He was Khalifa, the chief of all the Muslims, crying deeply. I mean, she was shocked. And the soldiers around him, they were crying too. Then, subhanAllah, after a while, he get like calming down. She told him, Bi abi wa ummi ma abkik. What make you cry? This weeping so hardly. He said, I was reading this ayah from Surah Ash-Shura. Yeah? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, likewise we have sent down to you the Quran that you will warn the mother of the city and all the world around it. There will be a group in paradise and group in hellfire. He said, when I come to this ayah, I imagine myself being on the land of resurrection. Am I going to be guided to paradise or hellfire? And then I start to cry. So this is a reality. We need to believe in it. As you're seeing the sun in the midday, that's how we must believe in it. Because this is a reality. The Prophet ﷺ taught us, you remember the hadith that we say, sometimes or often into dua al-qunut, Allahumma anta al-haq wa wa'duka haq wal jannatu haq. Wal naru haq, something is true. True, it should be like you're going to touch it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about the people who will be screaming in the hellfire, قَالَ إِنَّ هَذَا لَهُوَ حَقُّ الْيَقِينِ, the highest level of certitude and certainty. If as a believer we neglect such a thing and we do not think about seriously, why? Because distracted by hope. Tomorrow is going to be a great day. I'm going to make more money. I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to do this. يَتَمَتَّعُونَ يَأْكُلُونَ وَيَتَمَتَّعُونَ وَيُلْهِهُمُ الْأَمَلِ, till he comes being stabbed by death, and then he will be like oblivious, lost, scared. And Munkar wa Nakir said, who's your Lord? Subhanallah. And the person, he will not be able even to say, my Lord is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because the heart was filled with all the false hopes. There is no even space in it that make tasbih. So how someone will be answered? He cannot. One of the companions, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the Prophet ﷺ, he is the most generous ever existed human being. He had a gift. Abaya, cloak. He wear it. Then when they entered the companion, in the salah, they were it. And this Sahabi was looking at this new abaya of the Prophet. He was looking at it like this. So the Prophet ﷺ, after the sitting, he said, wait. He went inside, he took her off, folded it and said, this is a gift. The companions, they were so mad. They said, why did you do that? You know that the Prophet ﷺ will have given it to you. Just you be. He said, no, you don't understand. He said, why? What? He said, that I'm going to do, have it to be my kafan. So when Munkar wa Nakir, they come and ask me a question after the second scale, who's your Prophet? I'm going to say, the owner of this qamis. You see, dear brother, how the companion, they plan for their grave. They plan for their meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ, fearing the standing before Allah. Fearing the standing before in an interview or an exam. The greatest fear is when you're standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are alone by yourself. At the distance you see hellfire roaring, and subhanallah, one word from Allah and you're going to be dragged. And the most, subhanallah, hurtful thing, that one will be dragged to hellfire, this person dragged on his face, he look at the angels, he will say, have mercy on me. You know what the angels, they say? He said, the most merciful didn't have mercy on you. You want us to have mercy on you? That's not possible. For fearing the standing before of Allah need to be part of our daily life. Need to shape our life, need to regulate our hope, need to define our project. That's how, subhanAllah, not be distracted by false hope till someone will fall in the pit of the grave, and then is going to be facing the most horrible lives. The true life starts from that grave. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us be successful in our life and take advantage of all the blessings of Ramadan, and all together asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at any time and in the qunut for Allah to free our neck from the hellfire. Allahumma ij'alna min utaqa'ika min al-niran wa ila salati yarhamukum.